and we're starting now.
No, in like 5 seconds, yeah. And I did mention pegging, but I got my wife's permission before it. My wife thought it was funny, so. And then there's also some people who think you're being literal. I'm like, no, I'm like, it's exaggerated. We're telling stories. It's very funny. You go with this. I'm sure you deal with this your entire life. I'm talking to Francesca Fiorentini, who's actually a real life professional comedian, and she asked me about my midlife crisis, first official, I guess, stand-up comedy set. I did like 7 minutes at BC Improv. It was good. I'm no comedian. I'll never be a comedian. I was just describing her the set and how half the people loved it, 25% were horrified, and 25% were confused. Uh,
That's all you need. Half is all you need to be on board. Let's go. I mean, by the way, now that we're starting, I'm doing a bunch of shows that people should know about. Minneapolis, August 20th, live Bitchuation Room. Then I'm doing stand up in Seattle on September 4th and 5th, Friday, Saturday at Laughs Comedy. Then I'll be at Helium Comedy Club in Portland, Oregon, September 7th and 8th. Bitchuation Room live on the 7th, which is Labor Day. Out in Philly on October 13th and 14th, and then at New York in Brooklyn on October 15th at the Bell House.
that's
13th,
crazy.
14th at Punchline in Philly. So get tickets, frannyfio.substack.com or francescafiorentini.com. But thank you. I'm gonna like sort of horribly plug all of my stuff because
I'm shamelessly plug away, and you also are a mom, and real stand-up comedians. It takes discipline, it takes work. You have to grind. It's exhausting. It's very masochistic. So I
oh
applaud
yeah.
you.
And you have to be like a night owl. I am a morning person. I don't know how you roll. I
I'm
am
I'm I'm a awake all the time vampire person.
Yeah. Oh, right. I forgot who I was talking to. But no, you have to be like, you have to come alive at like 10. And I shut down at 10, which is great because most of the jokes I've written in advance and they work and I know they work. So, but man, if and when there's like a stand up spot at like like a solid 7:30 a.m., I will crush that. And like, I can only imagine just doing that for like moms and dads at a playground and being,
And all of us look
let's
like
go.
this.
Yeah, a little Bailey's in the coffee. Everyone's kind of like waking up, but like right when the coffee hits, I would crush because like I'm firing on all cylinders, they're firing maybe on some cylinders.
No
You know,
country for middle-aged parents, folks. It's very funny. And I was just telling Francesca real quick that my set was about an extended story slash joke slash maybe hypothetical about middle-aged parents with young kids and what we have to do, the extreme gymnastics we have to engage in to have sex. And the people who are locked in, you could tell, locked in from the start to the end. Young people are like, where's the choking and the
no,
pegging?
young people do not care. One of
They
the
don't care at
best.
all, Francesca.
They don't care about your kids and they don't care about your kid material. But more and more, of course, like people are, millennials are getting older and we're having kids and stuff like this. But my favorite, I had this joke because I was talking about getting pregnant in the pandemic. This is not the joke, but I was like, "Did anyone else get pregnant in the pandemic?" And it was like a room full of like young, Gen Zers on the west side of Los Angeles, and one woman just goes like, "Yes," and like "Yes, I got pregnant" was basically like her being like, I boned so much in the pandemic. I basically got pregnant. I knew that that's what she was implying, and I was like, "Fuck you." It was more. I was like, "No, did anyone get strapped with a child?" She's like,
Yeah, they
"Yeah."
they they don't know, but this is where, and don't worry, this will connect to the framing of today and what's happening. Just bear with me, folks. This is why they pay me the big money. I wanted to ask you this, and this question will directly lead into it. You'll just see. Just wait. I'm giving you a foreshadowing here. I'll make it connect to modern politics and conversation with Francesca Fiorentini, host of the Bitchuation Room. I find it at this stage of my life that it's more beneficial for me. It's better for me. It's more in the short term and in the long term, better to go against the grain, to be a bit more uncomfortable, to not go for the easy laughs. Because I was telling Francesca I had a 10-minute set, and I know had I gone with the easier material, I would have gone the claps, Francesca. I would have gone the laughs, but I wouldn't have stretched myself. But
As a first-time comedian, you wouldn't have stretched yourself. Yes.
But I'm very hard on myself. I'm also, this is the Asian coming out. I'm a child of Asian, like You know how it is.
So, if anyone's wanting to do stand up or want to start out, here's what you do. It's very simple. It's the sandwich. So, you start off with strong material and you end with strong material, and you sandwich anything you're not sure about or something that's new. And also, as a new comic, I feel you're like, I'm too good for these like lame ass, for me, what's my ethnicity jokes? You're not. You're not, because you're gonna win most of the room over on that. You get up there and you have to be like, okay, I can tell a joke and I can be funny. And their first two jokes are basically just that, proving to this audience this will not be painful. Then you can kind of go into whatever you actually want to talk about, or bits that are new or things you don't know if are going to work as well.
Yeah, so that's kind of what happened. I got them with the first one, but then you decide to stretch. And I recall it's one of those things for anyone who's a writer, anyone who's a creative, any organization, any entrepreneur. There comes a point in time in your life where you have to make yourself a bit uncomfortable, and you have to see, you know what? I might not be comfortable with this, but I know this is better for me. I know that I might not be comfortable with this is better for the audience. I might not be comfortable with this. This is better for America. I might
Mm,
not be comfortable for this, but this is better for the Democratic Party.
mm,
I might not be comfortable with these words like progressive and Medicare for all and abolish ICE and stop ending aid to Israel, but this is where the people are. And maybe instead of trying to, I don't know, crush it, maybe lean into it and maybe figure out what the kids are all up to. And maybe instead of demonizing the Hassan Pikers, maybe pay attention to why he's catching fire.
yeah.
Francesca?
Um, I mean, obviously, we are talking about the fallout of this just incredible Senate run by Abdul El Sayed, and I think that we cannot, the caliber of this candidate, the quality of this candidate, the integrity of this candidate, the ability to communicate, I think, on such basic issues, and not back away from any previous stance he had. I mean, truly, he's pinned 10 toes down as someone who's quite literally wrote a book on, achieving Medicare for all. And he's very insistent about that. Um, we're just basking in that glow, man. And some people don't know how to bask. Some people don't understand that the way to fight fascism is with real ideas and real vision. And of course, instead, and this is, I think that one of the biggest stories out of this election, beyond APAC, $63 million of outside spending, how close it was, how the fuck this campaign even achieved, Abdullah Sayed and all of the amazing people who went there, knocked doors, made phone calls. I mean, you all, if you did any portion of that, made the difference. Quite literally, look at the percentage points. You made the difference. Haley Stevens wasn't doing that stuff. She couldn't even show up to her own events, right? She canceled them as soon as she realized she was maybe gonna get asked a hard question.
Yep.
So
She ran
all to
away from
say,
your friend Walter, Masterson, right?
exactly. Yes, poor Haley. Walter Masterson asking her about, APAC and all this. And so I think one of the biggest storylines is this Hassan Piker diversion show,
Yes, you
which
went there. I was gonna please continue.
no, no,
I'll bring up a quote.
to your point, I think it all has to do with what you and I do, which is media. It is commentating and coverage and being a pundit. And what really mattered in this race was corporate cash, foreign influence, or not, and whether people want to move their money out of endless wars and actually into infrastructure. But instead, because you have a handsome Twitch streamer that has said out of pocket things that aren't actually incorrect, I mean, like, you know, suddenly we are having a completely different conversation, which is let's focus on this minutia, on this person who campaigned with Abdul Sayed, and if it only backfired, I mean, God, on a personal note, I was trying to get Hassan, and I was like, I'm not gonna ask him to be on my show. He's busy, whatever. Well, that was like a year ago, and of course, this year, my guy blows the fuck up, and I'm like, I am never getting him on my show. Like, I'm like, fuck.
You are actually, I mean, Daniel and I always joke we're bad capitalists, but I've said this to you publicly and privately. You might be like you're worse. You're a worse
No,
capitalist. It's
no.
it's
Just
it's
because
it's
I'm a stand-up comedian doesn't mean I don't like money.
no,
Um,
but I'm not saying you don't like money. I'm just like, these decisions that you make, you're like, he's busy. He's my friend. I won't bother him. F, why? Damn it. And
I
now he's so
know.
busy, he's overwhelmed.
I
But
know.
to your point, because Hassan said this, and this is the clip now among many clips that is being shared, not just by Republicans, but by so many Democrats who are still in their feelings that Haley Stevens lost, by the Democratic establishment, by centrists. They cannot get over this clip. And I'm going to share it with y'all. I don't know if I could share the clip, but you'll see the quote. All right. Here we go.
Okay. Oh, look at Substack. Okay, Substack.
All right, so this is Hassan responding. This was about yesterday. Everyone being like Abdul has a fuck ton work to do to mend bridges. Here's the fucking take, nuke for you. You are all unbelievably Islamophobic pieces of shit. You literally call the dude a fucking terrorist for months on end and called him a sexist, misogynist, terrorist, bad candidate, fake doctor when he has two fucking degrees. And now you're gonna sit there and be like, you really got to come to me now. What are you talking about? Do you want to win or not? Lock the fuck in. Now, I don't disagree with him. And I knew that he was talking to these the Cliff Schecters, the Shannon Watts,
Oh,
the Third Ways, the Neera Tandons, the Republicans, right? Let's be honest.
yes.
The Islamophobia, the Mallory McMurrow's initial campaign, the corporate consultants. I'm just being blunt with you all. He
Yeah.
was talking to them. And they are now doing the work of the RNC and saying, see, he's saying this about all the Michiganders who voted for Stevens. And then he had to correct. I mean, not correct, but he had Hassan Piker went and responded to Shannon Watts and said, no, I want Abdul to go knock on all the doors and win over all these Michiganders. I was talking about people like you. Your response to Piker's comment about mending and trying to like go and like, appease these moderates and centrists.
I mean, it never works the other way around,
That's right.
ever. So when a centrist candidate wins, if Haley Stevens had won, I bet any amount of money that the conversation wouldn't be about, wow, she might really have to appeal to people who don't want to send all of our tax dollars abroad to Israel. She might really have to have like a Medicare for all plan. We're going to really push her, right? And the pundits would ask her, how are you going to appeal to the progressives and the leftists? How are you going to appeal to democratic socialists? How are you going to appeal to black and brown people? Like, how are you going to appeal to immigrants? How are you going to appeal to people who don't like the fact that you had a campaign staffer who worked for Palantir? How are you going to appeal to people who want you to say abolish ICE? How are you going to appeal? No, they never, it's always DSA needs to endorse right now and they need to shut up. Hassan Piker better come out and beat the drums for Haley Stevens. Hassan Piker better go campaign with Haley Stevens because now we want him, right? Hassan Piker better roll over for Haley Stevens. And it's like, it doesn't work like that. It actually like why we meaning the progressives actually won. So it is absolutely the ball in the court of all the centrists who naysayed and who, yes, I mean, look, Mallory McMorrow talking about, Hassan Piker in the same breath that she talks about an attack on a synagogue. Like, are
Yeah,
you kidding me?
that happened, folks. That
What?
happened.
Like on national television. And again, it is laced with Islamophobia. So I think the reality is, and we know, I mean, I was doing a show the other day and there are people in Michigan who say, look, my family couldn't bring themselves to vote for Abdul Sayed because they just didn't want to vote for someone named Abdul.
Yep.
They like were afraid. And so the healing that needs to be done is a whole lot of education around Islamophobia, around bigotry, around about understanding Muslim Americans, um, understanding, I mean, Abdul's incredibly, I mean, not to say that Muslim Americans are, but like the dude is like he's not a fresh off the boat, immigrant, right? Um, he is incredibly American, as Muslim Americans are, as all Americans are, as all hyphenated Americans are. And so that's the work that has to be done is a little bit of, hey, gee, maybe we participated in very facile Islamophobia and we need to come to the table. And not the other way around. So
And
yeah,
they're still participating in it, and they're still feeding and amplifying the right wing's pure, like gross anti-Muslim bigotry. They're all in on anti-Muslim bigotry now. JD Vance, Mike Rogers, they have nothing left. Using his full name, Abdul Rahman Muhammad Al Sayed. Now, JD Vance saying, what will happen if there's a Muslim president? The guy's a candidate for Senate, right? Like, and you have four brown kids, JD Vance, equating him to 9/11. That's what Mike Rogers did. And thank you, Democratic moderates and centrists. That's what you're doing. You're literally helping the Republicans flame the fans of Islamophobia and anti-Muslim bigotry and anti-Arab bigotry, calling him anti-Semitic with no proof whatsoever just because he criticizes Israel. Well done. And a very good point you made there, Francesca. It's a one-way street. And I'll give you all an example. It's been 10 years since Donald Trump won, right? How
Mhm.
many mainstream articles have you seen in the New York Times, the Washington Post, Atlantic? How many 6 to 10 minute specials have you seen on CNN where MAGA voters were asked to go understand the plight and economic anxiety of urban voters and urban diners?
No, none. The
Zero.
let's I mean, that's what the Zoran Mamdani campaign, I think, did so effectively, was like, actually, our diners are, taxi cab spots for, Pakistani food, you know what I mean? That's our diner. Like, our diner is where immigrants eat. Our diner is where immigrants live. Like, that's our diner, where that's who we're listening to, because these are working class people. These are communities that have been here for generations, and they've been long ignored. So we're going to listen to them. I mean, the Mamdani campaign did that out so effectively. But it is, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Abdullah Sayed would be the first Muslim
Yeah.
senator if he
Yes.
wins. I mean,
Yes.
that's incredible. And also, I just wanna name that, like, he has basically not spoken about being Muslim almost this entire campaign. I don't know, we interviewed him, I interviewed him for my show, I'm sure you've been like,
He tries not to, not because he's afraid, but I think it's also smart. He goes, "I'm a Michigander, I'm an American, but I'll talk about it if you want me to talk about it, but
yeah,
I'm
but
talking
I'm
about money
all
out
to
of
say,
politics,
like
money in your pockets, Medicare for all."
exactly, all to say, it's not like they make it out to seem like he's trying to oogity boogity everybody, which maybe he should. I mean, again, kind of in the Zoran vein, film himself going to prayer or, mosque or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like gathering, like that could be good to lean into that and be like, yes, people also pray this way. This is also a house of worship. Um, because I think kind of in the Kamala Harris type, do not talk about being black, do not talk about being a woman, do not talk about being South Asian, just be yourself and don't talk about that ever. They're still gonna accuse you of only talking about being a woman in black, which she never did,
Right?
or in South Asian. And so why not just like be like, actually, yeah, here's how it affect here's how it,
He has to
I
now,
live my life.
and I think he will. He's never run away from it, and I think it worked for Mamdani and it worked for Barack and the people who say that you can't talk about racism. You can only talk about classism. I've always disagreed with that because Republicans will bring in racism. Democrats will bring in racism. And I think this is where it worked for Mamdani and Obama is they couldn't hide it, right? Like, my name is Barack
Right.
Hussein Obama. My name
Right.
is Zoran Mamdani. So they leaned into it and used that as part of the narrative that I am representative of a diverse America. I am representative of what America is and could be, and a guy like me can win, and I want affordability and accountability for all. I think
Yep.
Abdul leads into it. I'm glad he did. He said, they're using my full name. It's Abdul Rahman Muhammad Al Sayed. Very well done. I like the fact that he naturally dropped an inshallah. And I don't know if you saw, but like the right wing just lost its mind, like, wah, 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 Sharia now, wah. And then like you were like, Anne Hathaway uses inshallah, rappers use
Yeah, it was like,
inshallah,
didn't
so they're
Anne
fine.
Hathaway use everyone
Yeah.
uses
Like
inshallah.
everyone uses it, like Arab Christians use inshallah, atheists, that's fine. But I think they're telling on themselves. And what is interesting is the Islamophobia hasn't worked. It didn't work against Mamdani. It didn't work against Hamawi. It didn't work against Daria Liza. She's Muslim. It didn't work against Abdul Rahman. $60 million, $63 million, with about nearly 40 of that coming from APAC didn't work. Have to ask you this. If Democrats are smart, and we know the corporate donors and leaders are not, wouldn't you sit there and go, damn, APAC spent 40 million and it still wasn't enough, which is a remarkable thing. If Francesca and I are old enough to know that had we said this 3 or 4 years ago, like I'd be like, what the, no, it's over. Abdul Rahman's going to get destroyed. The
Yep.
fact that they went all in, Francesca, and it actually hurt Stevens. First of all, to me, mind blowing, seismic change. Secondly, do you think these Democrats will finally look at the polls and the facts and the evidence that say maybe we should move away from APEC and Netanyahu.
Yeah, or they're like, maybe we should have spent more money. Because what is money anyway? I mean, I look at $63 million and I'm like, money isn't real. And guess what? It's not. Because a lot of this shit comes from fucking Fair Shake Pack, which is all crypto based. All these things are crypto based, right? It's all crypto super PACs. Again, two of the worst words ever to be put together. The cryptocurrency super PAC. So all the money is
And
fake.
AI and APEC, it's the same Venn circle.
It's the same circle, and of course, there is, I have yet to see it charted out explicitly, but generally AIPAC and Israel funding comes along for the ride because they know, hey, this candidate is open for business, so we're gonna get into that business. It doesn't matter. Um, I mean, there's a limit to money in politics, and I think you're seeing that in New York and you're seeing that in Michigan. I will say this, as someone from California, a state that is deeply spread out, very vast, I think money goes farther because we don't have as much sort of like, you have to be hyper local.
Yeah.
I think sadly, you need the television ads, you need the, mail flyers in a different states. It depends on where you are. But I think in places like Michigan, maybe a little more tight knit, right? More word of mouth. I think you get that as well in New York. It's easy to canvas in New York City. It's like very condensed. Um, so, I'm over here looking at CA34, everybody, and Jimmy Gomez, who takes incredible amounts of Israel money, and everyone must come out for. And this is going to be my when I am around this summer, I will be stumping and door knocking for Angela Gonzalez Torres, who is a Justice Democrat endorsed candidate. And we got to get her in Congress because we are being poorly represented. And I think this is the other narrative that's coming out that, people like Neera Tanden are talking about, like, wow, there's a real like class divide, people with, more whatever, like education or like who earn a little bit more are all voting for, Abdul Sayed, and they're trying to do some kind of like,
Yeah.
that's why they're classist.
Yeah.
Bitch, all you guys peddle to are rich white people, right? Are rich people, are comfortable people. That's the only people you care about. Everyone else, i.e., poor people, working people, you view with such disregard. You're like, they'll take anything. They'll take anything. And you know why a lot of working class poor folks might quote unquote take anything? Because they are busy trying to put, rub two fucking coins together to make a living week to week. They are busy. They are strapped with debt. They cannot afford their medical bills. Like these are the people now you're gonna be like, wow, all the wealthier people. You fucking think that the wealthy Michiganders are voting. First of all, the wealthy Michiganders are voting for a guy who's going to raise their tax rate? No. No. And if they are, that's dope. Class traitor. I
There,
love
w-
it.
there were a few districts where upper class Dems voted for Abdul.
Right. Right. And but what I'm saying is like, these are
Traditionally,
folks.
the rich go for the Republicans and the corporate Dems and the moderates and the 1% and AI and crypto and tax cuts and
Yes.
deregulation.
But what I'm trying to say is they understand there's a collectivity, and Democrats, generally have a little bit more, less more object permanence. They see beyond just what's in front of them. And they're like, yeah, this can be good for everybody, right? This is going to be good for business. When we have universal health care, that's going to be good for business. Because let's say they're a small business owner, they don't got to pay health care anymore, right? Their wages are not going to be garnished. Their salary is not going to be garnished to the degree that it is now. Maybe they're doctors themselves and they're just like Abdullah Sayed, and they've seen close up how the in health insurance industry gouges them and their families and their practice, and they're like, you know what? I don't even fucking want to practice anymore because we all know
My
the best.
wife, my
Your
wife,
wife, the
family med
best
doctor. She
doctors,
goes, it's a mess.
the best doctors. Hear me now. Only take what? Medicare and Medicaid. That's it. The best doctors. Why? Because they can. Because they're like, I don't want to deal with private health insurance anymore. I'm only going to go do Medicare because it's the simplest. I get paid better and I'm not haggling with these insurance companies over the fucking phone. So literally the best doctors are Xing themselves out of the entire private healthcare industry in the first place.
And
So
Abdul wrote the book Medicare for All as a doctor. And furthermore, the fact that, to your point, the gall of these people to somehow claim that they represent the workers when they're against a living wage, when they're against Medicare for All, when they're against universal child care, when they're fine sending billions of our dollars to for Israel to kill brown babies, when they're fine completely giving the Pentagon whatever money it needs, even though it's repeatedly failed its audits, the fact that they're fine with AI data centers, even though they're not building any jobs, the fact they were fine bailing out the same banks and financial institutions that got us in the worst economic recession since the Depression is
yep,
comical. It is
yep,
laughable
comical.
to me. I want your response to this also because this was just, I had to respond to him. We follow each other, but I was a little harsh in my response. Read this. I want to
Mhm.
remind everyone Francesca Hong is an elected official. She's not just like some chef. She was a chef, but she's in like the state assembly of Wisconsin, if I remember correctly. Okay, I'm gonna read this for you.
Oh,
David
Jesus,
Axelrod.
this is so enraging. I might have to tweet right now.
I tweeted a response. I'll show you my tweet response. This was a quote. It would be good for Abdul if Francesca loses her bid to become the Democratic nominee in Wisconsin last week. He's a serious person. This makes me like her more. She is a font of zany liberal faculty lounge exotica. Sign me up for that
What?
porn. But the Republicans, hoping to deflect attention from an unpopular POTUS who hangs from them like an anchor, would surely try and link Abdul and Hong as philosophical kin. And my response is,
Ugh.
is Lord in heaven, stop being afraid and playing prevent defense. Republicans will always attack, smear, lie, and be nasty. Go on offense for once, you pathetic, spineless, moderate nothings. That was my response.
What a beautiful response. God, no notes. Absolutely gorgeous. That I love the Lord in heaven. It's true. And also like don't fucking don't fucking like SAT word your dumbass tweet, fucking David Axelrod with your big ass words, being all like, a font of exotica, a, philosophical, shut up, man. Shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, Francesca Hong, speaking of, is a working class, single mom, immigrant family,
Yeah.
currently in state legislature
Yes.
or city in Wisconsin, right? Wisconsin legislature.
Yeah.
And um
State representative. Yeah. Single mom,
state,
state representative, restaurant worker, candidate for governor.
she was she was unlike the zany font of she was recruited. Everyone was like, "You know what? It's going to be you, Francesca. We think you should run." She didn't lead the charge on her running. People were like, "I think you'd be good to run." And she did. And guess what? Last I checked, her polling is strong. So
She's up
all
double
these
digits. She's
dude,
gonna win. She's gonna be the nominee.
I'm sorry, the people that live online on Twitter and saw 2 videos of her that they didn't like because
5 years
she's
ago, she tweeted about Thanksgiving, and I said, "If this is all that you have against her, I'll take it. This will be a nothing burger in 3 months. Pivot away." She already then pivoted away. She gave one answer which I thought was okay, but then she got another answer where she said exactly what she had to say. She goes, "I love Thanksgiving." Next, it's because of her policies, right? And now what they're
it's
saying, and I
also
want
because
to ask,
she's bad at lying. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
you
she's
could
not
tell, you could tell she's bad
exactly.
at life.
She's not gonna go and be like, "No, I really like Thanksgiving." I was and she's not gonna back away from her former stances. She was like, "No, look, we all know Thanksgiving is basically a celebration of genocide." I mean, in a lot of ways, and a lot of Native communities, yes, they don't celebrate Thanksgiving, and they are deeply offended by Thanksgiving. And this is
That's what she was trying to say, but they're like, and then this was the leading news. Oh, could you imagine? CNN asked her this. I'm like, this was the same week where Donald Trump, we found out his bank, Capital One, had to shut down 3 of his accounts due to fear of money laundering. And Max Miller is a raging, abusive, alleged psychopath that Mike Johnson and Republicans are perfectly fine with. And breaking news, Mitch McConnell, allegedly,
again alive
apparently
again.
he's alive. Mitch McConnell says he has been discharged from a rehab center and will continue recovering at home after a fall in June. The Kentucky Republican has not provided a timetable for his return to Capitol. There is a statement that has come out, but I don't see any proof of life. I don't see any video, but he released a statement. So there you go. I don't know. If I was a
I
Democrat, I'd be
just want
running
him
on
to
this
hang
stuff.
on. I do want him to hang on until Halloween so that Matt and I can go as Elaine Chao and and
That would be
Mitch McConnell.
hilarious. You as a Matt should go as Elaine Chao, and you should go as Mitch McConnell.
Dude, I'm actually very good.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, no, I'm
Um,
alone." Uh,
Everyone really should, kick Abdul Al Sayed some bucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, kick him some money because, for real, the third way, which is
yeah,
a
we talked about it
basically
today.
right, it's a corporate backed, super PAC or whatever. They're spending $15 million to discredit
15.
him. $15 million to discredit him, and I just like chump change. That's like that ain't nothing to them. But
The
you
money's real,
know,
folks. The money, I mean, without this infusion of money, he would have won by 5-7 or whatever, but yep, there you go.
we're
They're
preparing for the
openly
next war. Oh, please. Like, and this is the other thing is also if you don't have money, that's fine. I get it. Donate an hour of phone banking or text banking, whatever you can. They train you. It's easy. And most honestly, like fun fact or like something nobody tells you. Most people aren't home, so you kind of just like you go through the list and or they don't pick up or whatever. But then when you do get somebody on the line, sometimes it's going to be a really enriching conversation. And if they're voting Republican, you just say bye bye. You're fine. And that's what the
and
training is
all
for.
of that grassroots organizing that Francesca talked about is what gave Abdul this amazing don't sleep on this, folks. $60 million of outside money being outspent 10-1.
Yeah,
In any race, that means Haley Stevens should have crushed him by double digits, and he still won. Every vote counted. The people came out. I have to run, but I do want to ask you this last question, Francesca, and then I want you to shamelessly promote yourself and where you're appearing. The final question I have is I'm going to go ahead and put myself out there like I always do. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I said he would win last month. I'm going to go ahead and say he's going to win. I think Dems will consolidate. I think a lot of these black voters will consolidate. I think a lot of these workers will consolidate. I think Donald Trump and the Republicans will get worse. I think, unfortunately, everything in this country is going to get worse by November. Rogers is uncharismatic. He's a reek. He's part of this dying cult. He is stuck to Trump. If everyone just does the work and focus on that, I think Al Sayed will win. And I think Han can win as well if he just stays on message. Your
yeah.
response.
I agree 100%, and I think that, what's great about Abdullah Sayed from here on out to November is he's only getting stronger. He's like now it's not just about Israel, it's not just about the war in Iran. It's that, which by the way was a winning message. Talking about that money is a winning
Yep.
message, and being free of Israel money is a absolute a million notches on his belt, right? But then he gets to talk about, Donald Trump. Hey, is he making your life more affordable? Is he actually addressing where's his healthcare plan?
That's
Remember the
right.
plan? We've got
It's a
concepts
great
of a
health. It's
plan.
the Great American Healthcare Plan is going to be called the Great American Healthcare Plan.
Exactly. Exactly. I had him on my show. We talked about this Trump RX deal, which Trump is now once again touting about like how he got all these drug companies to lower prescription prices. How? How'd you do it, buddy? What they promise you? What do they give you? Why is it called Trump RX? Like, what's going on behind the scenes? Because he's enriching himself. And that's what Abdullah Sayed said to me. He was like, look, I'm not against negotiating drug prices. I am for it. And I am for, obviously universal health care. But you have to look under the hood here and realize this is not how you do it. You do this through Congress. You do this through legislation. You don't unilaterally say, I made a deal with Pfizer. Trust me. Can you imagine if any fucking Democrat sniffed or got anywhere near I privately talked to Pfizer and Moderna and we're gonna get a deal? Are you kidding me? They would call him like a lizard person. They would, he became vaccinated and, whatever.
It's
Um,
pharmaceutica exotica porn. That's what it is.
yeah.
Francesca, always a pleasure. Sorry that we had to
Yes.
keep it short this time, only because I got 5 kids and calls and this and that. But
It's still
uh,
summer for them. I mean, it's rough.
it's the struggle, but it's fun. It's real. Shamelessly promote yourself as you head out.
FrannyFio.substack.com is where you can find me. I'm on a little bit of a break, but next Tuesday we'll be back at it. I also have long form interviews you can go check out with incredible guests. Incredible. Yes, I couldn't fully do
That
that.
was so
And
good.
then yes, all the stand-up dates that I mentioned at the top of the show, come see me in Minneapolis, Seattle, Portland, Philly, and Brooklyn, and then, of course, here in Pasadena on September 18th. That's a Friday.
What's the where can they find it again? What's the website? Spell it out.
FrancescaFiorentini.com or frannyfio.substack.com.
And then how about Bituation Room if they want to see you on the YouTubes?
YouTube.com/FrannyFio. We're for the Bituation Room every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And Waj, I got to hit you up about future dates because I'm like trying to make up for lost time.
Folks, that's Francesca. I just posted it. I'll also link to it when we have it up. Thank you all for watching. I'll be back in
All
20
these
minutes.
hearts.
I gotta take a call, but I'm gonna be back with Qasim Rashid, and we're gonna talk about the deliberate, intentional, disgusting unleashing of Islamophobia that has already begun, and we gotta talk about it. You're like, but I'm not Muslim. I don't care. Well, you better care because they're gonna use it against Mamdani, Abdul Sayed, Daria Liza. It is gonna be grotesque, and I want you all to be prepared and inoculated. And you're gonna have to spread the word because they're coming. It's gonna come hard, and they're gonna do it to dismantle this progressive wave in which literally people are like, listen to these people. They're like, we want you to have free healthcare. We want you to have free childcare. Let's not like waste our money so Israel can bomb like and kill brown babies. And when most people hear that, they're like, that sounds good. I
Yeah.
like that. It's not crazy at all. I'll be back in 20 minutes. Thank you all for watching. This is Francesca Fiorentini. Please go subscribe. And if you're in her the neighborhood when she's performing, go listen to her stand-up. She's also a real-life professional stand-up comedian. She does that for a living among her many jobs. Thank you all for watching. Be kind, be informed. And please, oh, please don't be a fascist. Thank you, Francesca.